that actually, now we discovered based on the LIGO experiment. So first, before I ask more about gravitational waves, how did you feel when you know that the LIGO collaboration, LIGO experiment will be built? And one of the objective is to find what you're proposing.
Well, I should say that I began exploring this possibility 50 years before we discovered gravitational waves. So I began thinking about these gravitational waves and exploring them in the 1960s. In 1972, I began developing a vision for what we could do with the waves. It was 1989 that we actually proposed constructing the gravitational wave detectors. 1990-91 that Congress began appropriating money for it. This was a gradual process, and
Yes.
finally we saw the waves in 2015. So uh, it was a long process that just basically occupied a very large fraction of my career and that of all my students for a very long period of time. Through the whole thing, it was a joyous process. It was a wonderful collaboration with Ray Weiss at MIT and others. But it was something where we had to fight political battles in Washington. We ultimately won out, but there were a number of powerful people tried to prevent us from doing this because it was costing hundreds of millions of dollars, and they thought it wasn't worth it because they thought we would never see anything. There were ups and downs, but there were ups and downs in a process that was overall enormously fun.
No, I can relate. I'm doing nuclear particle physics, quark gluon plasma, early universe stuff, and some stuff like that. And then now we are moving into the new era, which is the electron ion collider. We would like to discover how the quarks inside the protons work. And it might at some point be related to quantum gravity or something, some of it. We can talk about that later. But it's similar right now. We are in this era that we will be building the next generation of accelerators here in the United States at Brookhaven National Laboratory. And we can relate to the ups and downs, the fundings, even the science, what we are looking for, how to look for it. It's thousands of people will be working behind the scene to reach the final goal that you might see in a scientific paper or in the news, but thousands of people have been working behind the scene for that. Scientists, like theoretical people as you, experimental experiments as me, or engineering and even technician, everyone.
And that is to emphasize something you emphasized about the area you're working in. The ultimate success in this was the result of the combined efforts of more than 1,000 people. And it was the younger generation, not my generation, that really pulled it off technically. Although we got it started, although my generation was still involved in one way or another, it was really the next generation that made this thing happen. The But it was a collaboration also with the Congress that both Republicans and Democrats supported this project once we started getting the large funds, supported it for 25 years from when we uh, first got construction funds until we saw the waves. And the members of both parties took great pride in the discovery. It was, of course, the staff at the National Science Foundation, through which the funds came, that were absolutely crucial and absolutely phenomenal in this whole thing. Um, it really is something that I think so many people around the world can take enormous pride in it, and it is, and I would highlight particularly Barry Barish, who was the LIGO director who pulled everything together organizationally and set us our route to success. Once we had gotten the funding under the leadership of a previous director, we got the initial funding, Robbie Vogt. But I think the people that were so crucial from my point of view were Barry Barish, the key director that who made the thing take off, and Ray Weiss, the experimenter with whom I collaborated so closely and so beautifully through the whole thing. And he was the primary inventor of these gravity wave detectors.
I fully agree. It's not only scientists. Scientist is one important key. Having the mind is one important key. Having the decision makers is another very important key. Having the funding agency and the work happening every year from them is another important key. And having the international collaborations behind that is also a key of success. So putting all of those together, that's what's make that nation is one leading nation in scientific discoveries. That's really important. That's how I feel about it and I see it.